So it's the assembly instructions for the XR19 Deluxe. First, you're gonna start with getting the two main uprights and identify the left and the right side. How you can identify the left and the right side is one, these pieces right here, they'll be facing the inside of the machine. Two is these little screws right here. This is where your side panels mount. So they need to be on the outside of the machine with that long bar facing forward. So this one will be the left side. And of course, this is the right side. Then locate the two legs that they're gonna mount to and get your left and right side. How you can identify that is, this is where your weight stack goes, and those two little screws, make sure those are on the outside so you can tighten them up. So this will be the back end of the frame. And you'll notice the two holes, 4 holes, that's gonna go right into this frame, top and back. So you will start with that back end right here. It's gonna go towards that back end there. So this right here, these 2 holes is where the weight stack goes. That will be in between these 2 rails, so your weight stack will go there. So left side, that's the left side frame. Get the right side, start with putting those 2 rails on. You'll notice on your hardware, you're gonna have 4 different sides of bolt length. Line them all up first and put a washer on each bolt just to get it ready. Rule of thumb is a washer will go on the back of a bolt, and once you go through the machine, before you put the nut on the opposite side, put another washer. There should be always a washer on both sides so it doesn't scratch the metal. So you have 3 lengths, long, medium, and short. And then that's the shortest. You only have 2 of the short ones. You're gonna start with these longer ones first to start putting your frame together. Other rule of thumb is, just for aesthetics, you wanna slide the bolt from the outside of the machine and have the nuts on the inside so they all will look uniform. Just the way you see here with the one that's pre-assembled, you see the nuts, the bolts on the outside, and then the nuts will be on the inside of the machine. So keep that same pattern as you go along. And the other rule of thumb is, do not tighten up anything until the frame is up and erect. Otherwise, you're gonna run into problems with the holes not lining up. Next step is the Smith bar attachment. Your Smith bar, you just wanna hang it on the hooks just to have it staged. You want to make sure this pin is in the upright position to know that you're on the right or the left side. Because if you spin it around, this will end up being upside down when you hold it like this. So the other way you can tell is the way this attachment here, that should have to be facing towards the back wall. You'll see the little round groove. So you know this should be on this side. So just sit it on the frame just to have it waiting there. Then you're gonna find your 2 Smith bar posts. They're gonna be the heaviest out of the 6 posts that you will find. And you wanna stage it in that position. Put the spring on the bottom. Then put your safety hook next. The safety hook just, you know, it can be upside down, right side up, but preferably have it this way where the, you know, with the bolts, it's going on this side right now, and I have it the opposite. It doesn't matter, it's just more for aesthetic looks. But I usually like having all the nuts facing this way, going in towards the machine, just like the rest of the machine. But it really doesn't matter if you have it one way or the other. So then, like I said, put the spring, then put your safety hook, then put your rubber bushing, and then put your linear bearing attachment on there. And that will be facing this way with those 2 screws will attach to these two holes right here once you get it in place. Once you got that set in, You will see your hole up the top and a hole at the bottom. You're just gonna ride this end up into the hole up at the top and let it slide down and brace into the bottom on both sides. Then once you got that, then you're just gonna line this up and tighten these two screws together. And then once it's all tightened up and set, then you would tighten up that screw to stop it from moving. And then you will see another one at the bottom to tighten that up to stop it from moving. Okay, next step is these two uprights with the pulley. How you can tell left and right is you're gonna see the numbers on it. Make sure number 1 is at the top, and make sure these handles are facing inward so you can grab onto that pin to go up and down. So there is a left and right side, so you can get them wrong if you end up switching them up. So rule of thumb, the number should be on the top starting from 1, and this handle should be inside. Then you're gonna use the 4 mid-sized bolts. No, those will be the smallest bolts. You also will have 2 more real small ones, but these will be, you will only have 4 of these bolts. 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and tighten them up. Then your weight stack, when you start your weight stack, you're gonna see these rubber bushings. They're already gonna be attached to the pole. Just take those off and place them on the bottom. And then you can start by putting, stack them up maybe 5 or 6 or 10, whatever you feel comfortable with, where they won't fall over on you. Then slide these poles in. There's no upside down or right side up with the poles, just slide them in. Then you're gonna lean them over and start feeding the stack. Then put the even amount of weights on each side. And then once you got your stack all together, you will slide these poles up into those holes. And then you will see 2 Allen head screws on the side. Just tighten those up once you push the poles up into the top to keep that in place. To know how many number of plates, the pin, these holes right here on your weight stack, that would determine how many weight plates is going on each side. So you count those holes, and that will give you the even amount of weight stacks to go on there. Next step is the Olympic weight bar holder. You can put it on the left or the right side. All you would do is take the 2 bolts off the back that you put on earlier and slide it in to share the same bolt holes. Then for your leg plate for doing rows, that's just an attachment accessory. So you would just use these poles, slide it into the hole, and it would go right through the holes of that plate. So you can put that on the left or the right side. It's just for your leg plate accessory. Then these other poles that come with them, you get 4. That's for when you're doing resistant bands. That would, you can move that out the way if you're gonna use that side, and vice versa. When it comes to the cables, once your weight stack and everything is finished, you're gonna take the cable, and this is how you're gonna route it. You're gonna go in the middle of these 2 front pulleys. You're gonna go up on that top, go over to that back pulley. Then you're gonna let that wire come down through the hole. Then it will loop around the pulley on a weight stack and loop right back up. Then you would hit these 2 pulleys. So once it loops back up, so down, around the bottom pulley, come back up, go around these 2 pulleys. Then you will be coming down in the front of those 2 pulleys, going down to the bottom. We'll go through that hole at the bottom to come down to access that pulley on the bottom. Then come over to the next pulley in the front, then go up. And then you will see these 3 Allen head screws. Back them out, slide this up in there, pull your slack to make sure just enough to where If your weight stack moves, just let it go down until it's even hitting the stack, and then tighten up the hole. Then make sure this is all the way up in here too, so you don't have loose slack hanging out. So make sure this is all the way in, and make sure the weight stack is touching the stack. Then tighten up the 3 screws. And then that's your cable run. And you can do that on both sides. Your side panels, you'll see 4 screws like that on the inside of your side panels. Just back those off, put your side panels in, and just tighten those back up. You don't really have to tighten them down. You can just put them in and just hand tighten them because they're not going anywhere. Then you have your landmine. This too can also go on left or right side. You will see 2 holes at the bottom of this this bar here. So you can mount it over there, or you can mount it on that side. You'll still see the same 2 holes. Use your shortest bolts that you have left and just tighten that on. And just make sure this part is sticking upwards so you can tighten it down onto your Olympic bar when you're using it. Okay, this is the full assembly of the unit. The attachments are pretty straightforward. These just slide in. There's a left and a right side. You just want to know that when you're putting them on, the pin will be towards the top to create that gravity of letting it slide down. So you would just slide into the hole and then just let it drop. Make sure you're only doing it from the inside out. You'll know if you're on the wrong side. If this piece ends up on this side, then you have them on the wrong side. So they should flip down towards the inside. That goes for all the accessories. You'll notice that the metal is on the inside. Then for your pulleys, you have your pull here to go up and down. Maintenance wise, I suggest just putting a WD-40 on this. It slides up and down okay, but I always like to put WD-40 to have no friction. The same on the weight poles to slide up and down. This right here holds your knees down when you're doing lat pull downs. That just comes out with the slide of this pin to pull off, and you can put it on the left or the right side. The leg press plate, it has a 3 position holes on them. You see these extra holes? Those are to get the angle you want when you're doing leg press. You can also put them in a position where you can do calf press to get your right angle. It'll lock in and you can do calf press or leg press. This bar back here, this connects your 2 pulleys together. If you want to do other exercises, you can connect those 2 pulleys together by putting, you see the 2 holes on each side, the hole on each side, to snap them on here and snap them on the other side. Then you can do other type of exercise with those. And you have your pull-up bar and the little pins back there. Those are just accessory holders you can clip on. And that's it for your assembly.